Welcome to the Sports Minute. If you like the video this evening, please comment and share. Subscribe to my page, Vincent Turner 560 on YouTube. And I'm Vincent Turner. Over the last few weeks since I started my YouTube page, it's been all about football. The football greats, the up-to-date teams, college football, pro football. But I'm going to go a little different direction tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about a gentleman that played in the major leagues. And after doing my research and really getting in depth about this young man, I have to say he's maybe the greatest African-American baseball player ever. And his name is Satchel Paige. He was special. When I was growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, before I get into Mr. Paige's career, I had some athletes that I loved to death back in the 60s. O.J. Simpson when he was at USC. Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was at UCLA. Walter Payton when he was at Jackson State. Ed Too Tall Jones when he was at Tennessee State. Vital Blue when he was pitching for the Oakland Athletics, along with Reggie Jackson with the Athletics. But I'm going to tell you this. The greatest athlete I love was Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. And simply because Cassius Clay stood up for a lot of things at that time for African Americans in this country. But I'm going to tell you, after studying Mr. Satchel Paige, there can be no better athlete that's represented us in the history of sports, whether it's on the football level, baseball level, or basketball level. A young man out of Mobile, Alabama, with so many great baseball players. Hank Aaron, Billy Williams, Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, Willie McCovey, Ozzie Smith. And I'm going to be honest with you, Satchel Paige is the best of the bunch. And then think about him playing 21 years in the Negro Leagues. And when you hear about the Negro Leagues, the first names you hear about is Buck Leonard, Josh Gibson, John Henry Russell. But I'm going to be honest with you, Satchel Paige was the best of the bunch out of them leagues. And then this what separates me. And think about this as you watch this video. It took the man 21 years before he got to the major leagues. He played in the Negro leagues and several leagues, I want to say bubblegum leagues, for 21 years. And he finally got signed by the Cleveland Indians in 1948. It took him 21 years at the age of 48. And he won a World Series. And then he went on and played another 17 years. He played 5 decades and gave up the game at 59 years old. I want everybody to let that sink in. And he played at a high level. The Negro Leagues, unofficial stats. He had 2,000 wins and over 50 no-hitters. Then when he got to the major leagues at 48 years old, in his 17 years in the league, his overall record was 125-82 with an ERA of 2.74 and over 1,484 strikeouts. And he was with the Cleveland Indians in 1948 with Bob Felker. It was a mainstay in that team winning the World Series. But this is what really, really gets me about Satchel Paige and why I got so much respect and love and honor and proud to be a black man this evening. I'm sorry. Think about what he had to overcome in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Segregation, breaking the color barrier. At the age, I want to say 42. I might got it wrong, but at the age of 42. His impact on baseball, paving the way for African Americans. And even athletes all over this country. And nobody mentions his name. See, LeBron James, you out there running up and down and doing your thing and talking about your son Bronny. I'm sorry, you should be mentioning Satchel Paige. Deion Sanders, I know you're doing a great thing in Colorado. And Shedeur Sanders is doing a great thing with the Cleveland Browns, but nobody mentions Satchel Paige. Carmelo Anthony is having podcasts along with Michael Beasley, Shannon Sharp, but nobody's mentioning Satchel Paige. And think about all this money that these African Americans are making from a baseball perspective. Michael Harris playing with the Braves. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. This gentleman right here paved the way. And when you talk about the skill set of some of the greatest pitchers in the game, the skill set of Satchel Paige was unbelievable. Powerful fastball, A+. Diverse pitching selections, A+. He wasn't a one-trick pony up there on the mound. Curveball, outstanding, A+. Changeup, A+. Outstanding control, A+. Showmanship, A+. Longevity, A+. Physical, A+. Toughness, A+. Mental, A+. Movement of the ball in the strike zone, A+. Philosophy, A+. And endurance, A+. One of the greatest athletes that ever played in any sport. His travel to the major leagues from Birmingham to Cuba to Baltimore to Pittsburgh to California to North Dakota to the Dominican Republic to Mexico to the Kansas City Travelers of the Negro Leagues. In over 5 decades, this man made it to the major leagues at an age that's unbelievable and still performed at a high level. And on June 21st, 1966, he retired when I was 6 years old, 2 weeks shy of his 60th birthday. And nobody brings him up, period. It's almost like the Kurt Flood syndrome. I'm sorry. When we talk about athletes, we need to talk about Satchel Paige at the top of the heap. Mount Rushmore as an African-American athlete. And I heard about a gentleman, I'm not going to call his name this evening, but I heard him talking about great pitchers. And he's right, Tom Seaver was a hell of a pitcher, along with Roger Clemens, Juan Marshall, J.R. Richards, Randy Johnson, Mickey Lolich, Denny McClain, Jim Palmer, Bob Gibson, Vida Blue, Blue Moon Odom, Bruce Sutter, Steve Carlton, John Smoltz, Greg Maddox, Pedro Martinez, Sandy Koufax, and Nolan Ryan. When I end this video, which I'm finna do here in a few seconds, all those gentlemen were great pitchers. But when I look at it, and I look at the career of Satchel Paige and what he went through, in my mind, there's been no greater pitcher that's pitched on the mound than him. All you have to do is do the backdrop, do the information, the facts. He made it to the major leagues at 42. It took him 21 years to get there. It wasn't based on his talent. It was based on so many other circumstances back in the day. The color barrier, one more time, segregation. And there was no way he could get there, but he finally did. And much respect to Jackie Robinson. But when you look at Satchel Paige and you think about Satchel Paige, always remember this. In my mind, Vincent Turner, this evening from Douglasville, Georgia, his name will ever be remembered as best baseball excellence in the major leagues. His name will be remembered forever as baseball excellence, as one of the greatest pitchers ever and players ever in Major League Baseball. There's no one that's done it over 5 decades. I just wish he could have got a chance when he was young and maybe would have saw what kind of records he would have set in the major leagues if we had the opportunity. Or let me say, granted the opportunity to pitch on a level like a Desi Dean back in the day. Or Don Drysdale. At the height of his career, Mr. Satchel Paige. Born July 7th. Born in July, the same month I was born in, 10 days after I was born in 1960. Satchel Paige, one of the greatest ever done it. July 7th was his birthday, one more time, 1906 to June 8th, 1982. He died before my 22nd birthday. In all these years, I took him for granted. As an athlete, as a person representing the African American community. I'm just glad I woke up today and I was able to do a video. I don't know how many people are going to see it, but I hope you learned something from it. This young man was one of the greatest players ever to play baseball, one of the greatest pitchers on the mound, and one of the greatest human beings to represent the African American community back in the very terrible times of the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. I'm Vincent Turner. It's been the Sports Minute. If you like my video, please comment and share it. And please subscribe to my page, Vincent Turner 560, here on YouTube. Have an outstanding evening. Thank you.